Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of the podcast of Natty or Not. We are your hosts,
I am Alexis and I am Natty.
and I'm Mike, and I'm not.
Show day recap.
The show day recap.
Day recap. I'm so excited to do this episode and just talk about your peak and how you did it, your show. Everything was so excited, or everything was so exciting.
Yeah, it was totally, and it was an amazing experience. And first and foremost, cannot thank you for all your support, the kids' support, you guys being patient. It was like having a support system in place like that is invaluable. Coach was there, which was just amazing. Like, that made me feel like center of the universe. And you guys, like, the coach was the icing on the cake, but having you guys there was huge. Had some teammates there, but let's get into it and like talk about leading the couple of days, the last week.
Yeah, let's talk about the last couple of days leading into it.
Yeah, because it was rough. Like, prep is no joke.
No.
You know, from like a mental standpoint, you don't really understand mental exhaustion till you go through it. Like mental and physical exhaustion when it hits you at the same time. Like, workouts were so much harder. Like the last 2 workouts, it was like it was super hard. I mean,
when were your last workouts? It was Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday were basically depletion workouts, and we started the water loading and drinking 3 gallons of water. It was fucking nuts. So much water, peeing constantly. Sleep was terrible because I was up peeing. It was that last week was rough, even with the sleep support supplement and everything.
Yeah.
And did not, like, patience grew even shorter, and like I was even snappier than I normally was. And then TFG, which is acronym for this fucking guy at the MMA.
Oh God, I forgot all about him. I forgot all about him.
Wednesday,
that fucking guy.
Wednesday, like finally had no cardio, no workout, and took Max to MMA. And so Wednesday, this fucking guy, he goes,
well, hold on. Yeah. Before you get into that, Monday, Tuesday, did your carbs come down yet?
Yeah, I was at 1,900 calories.
So Monday, Tuesday, your carbs started to come down. So you dropped like 50 carbs.
Yeah, it was at
from
like
your already like you were super hungry diet.
Yep, it was at 120 carbs. It was super low, 1,900 calories, lowest I've ever been.
Pushing 3 gallons of water Monday, Tuesday.
Yep.
Wednesday comes, you're still at the lower carbs. You didn't start adding carbs in yet, did you?
No.
Okay, so Wednesday you're at 2 gallons of water or 3 still?
Wednesday was 2.
Okay, it's 2 gallons of water.
Yep.
Extra depleted. Yep. Super tired.
Crazy
and before anyone goes like, you dumb bitch, why didn't you just take your kid to MMA? Why are you making him do it?
Oh,
I had to take our other kid. Our other kid had an event that night too.
Yeah, we were.
So we had to divide and conquer.
Yeah, because people were busy. Yeah, no.
The world doesn't stop.
Nope.
When you're in prep, you've got to take care of your kids.
Still got to be a dad. Still got to go do my thing.
Yep. And so I just needed to like put that in place before you started talking about this.
No, you weren't just like, nobody cares, go do shit. No, it was totally just had to divide and conquer with the family. And so we go to MMA. One of our friends there was like super nice. He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm super low energy, I'm sorry, I don't really want to talk, blah blah blah. And he was like, oh, totally cool. He was just like, he was being super respectful and just being really great and supportive. And then TFG comes over and he goes, buddy, this is after our conversation, after I confronted him and like shook him straight.
Buddy,
he goes, hey, buddy, your show coming up? And then I just like shot him a look, and then I looked away, and then I looked back at him and I said, it's Saturday. And then I just looked away. Like,
you know what's so funny? I
did not give him the fucking time of day. I was just like, we're not friends. I don't want to be friends.
Yeah.
You've already fucked that up. And so I'm just like don't want to continue this conversation. Made that very clear.
Yeah. So. I saw this meme or something. I think I sent it to you. I know I sent it to Katie. And it's a picture of Homelander from The Boys. Because for whatever reason, he makes like the best, like just gym nation memes.
Yeah.
And it says when you tell someone that you work out and they're like, oh, me too. I do Zumba and, step aerobics. And I go take group classes at the gym.
Yeah, I do Pilates. I'm like, once a week. I'm like, sweet.
And the meme is just like, we are not the same.
Yeah.
That's like, that guy.
And you know what? People that work out once a week, good for you. Do your thing.
It does, but we're not the same.
But don't equate us to, you're not a bodybuilder.
Right. You're not no better than
no better than just different. Just saying
it's different. We don't do it the same. It's not the same.
Yeah. No better, no worse, just different. So like don't say it's the same.
But that guy is that guy. Like, you stupid bitch. And it's just Homelander, like angry Homelander looks from
I was harnessing his Homelander energy, but I didn't realize it until you sent that meme. I was just like
Homelander energy.
Yeah, we're not friends.
You got a little, I will say, you definitely got a little crazy.
Oh, yeah. Week. Yeah, no.
With me even, and having to keep you in fucking check.
Yeah. No.
Because you yelled at me and you called yourself a dragon. Yeah. And that was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. No, you snapped at me.
I didn't even snap at you. All right, go back. You go ahead.
You snapped at me.
I didn't.
You did.
I had an irritation in my voice, and maybe it came off. I didn't snap at you. Okay. We have like a Roomba thing. It's not a Roomba, but it's a Roomba thing. Okay. Yeah. And you have the app on your phone because I'm an old lady and I fucking hate apps for everything. Stupid. I don't want your stupid app. Just fucking work. Yeah. But you've got the app for the vacuum. Mm-hmm. And I had looked and I'm like, because it's in the living room right where I was walking. I was like, oh, the vacuum's not there. That's weird. Can you look on your phone and see where it is? Because it's lost somewhere and I just don't know where it is. I didn't see it. And then that came and went. Mm-hmm. And then later, the kids had gotten on my nerves. So I was like, patience level was dwindling.
Dwindling down, yeah.
And I see that the vacuum's still not there. And I said something to you in an irritated voice, 100%. I will not say that I snapped at you, but I was already irritated. And now here's the second time I'm asking you because it's under a table or a chair or something. And I don't want to go fucking crawling around on my stomach trying to just look on your goddamn phone and see where it is. Mm-hmm. And I said something to you about, babe, can you find the vacuum?
Yeah.
And you went off and you were like, don't you poke the dragon.
Yeah, I said some dumb shit. But
I
said some stupid shit.
And then I couldn't take you fucking seriously. I'm like, are you fucking calling yourself a fucking dragon?
Yeah, I said,
ridiculous asshole fucking dragon. Shut the fuck up. I was so.
Yeah. I was mad too. I was like, bitch, I'm a dragon. Rawr. Don't you fucking talk to me like that in this this fucking mental state of mind that I'm in right now is fragile.
Yeah, you're very fragile. And then what was it? Oh my gosh. So that was like, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. So you started getting more food, but you still weren't better. And then when did you yell at me about honey? Was that Thursday?
I did not yell at you. I said, oh, do you know this is wildflower honey? Is what I said.
No, that's not. But that's not how you said it. Okay, let's rewind. That's no.
Okay,
that's not how you said it.
You tell the story however you want to tell it.
That's not how you fucking said it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you sent me to the store. I was at the store getting stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what day it was. Thursday or Friday. Getting whatever else we needed for the weekend to go to the show because we had to stay overnight. And you asked me to get you honey, which we're plant-based diet. We typically don't eat honey. If you're like a hardcore vegan and you like, how dare you look at a puppy wrong kind of a person, you're going to be like, you're not vegan, you're a horrible person. You eat honey, you might as well slaughter all of the cows. We're not those people. We try our best to do a vegan lifestyle. We eat a plant-based diet. If there's honey in something, it's like, for us, it's like a gray area. It's like not a big deal. Coach told you to get honey.
Right.
So you're like, babe, can you get me honey? So I was like, sure. I don't even know where it is in the store. I'll get honey. And then I'm standing in front of the honey and I haven't purchased honey and I can't even tell you how long. And I'm like, what kind do you want? Yeah. And you were like, local honey. So I said, okay, I'm going to get you local honey. So I found the local honey and I got you the little tiny local honey bear. And the first thing when I got home, you said, you're like, that's really small. I think I'm going to go get another one. I'm like, how much honey do you think you're going to be eating?
I had no idea. Yeah.
And then later you said to me, babe, did you know you bought me wildflower honey?
So
you said it like that.
That's okay. That's fair.
As if I bought you the wrong fucking shit and you gave me very specific directions and I fucked it up.
Yeah.
And I stood there and I looked at you because I didn't know how to respond to you.
Yep.
So it's like all fucking honey is made out of some goddamn fucking flowers. That's how they make it. It's pollen from flowers.
Right.
That the bees bring back and they do the nectar honey shit that they do to make it.
Yep.
Wildflower honey?
I fell asleep during the bee movie, so you'll have to excuse me. I didn't get a full recap. For whatever reason, I didn't think that the wildflower honey still came from bees, and that was just my ignorance.
Clover honey came from bees.
Clover honey.
And you were like, why? And I was like, well, what did you want me to get? And you were like, clover honey. And I'm like, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
What is the clover flower wild? Like, it's all wild. It's all the same. It's fucking flowers. You wanted local flowers. Doesn't matter. Local flowers. That's what you wanted. But then you went down this whole rabbit hole of like, no, clover honey is vegan. I'm like, I think you're an idiot. Like, I don't think that that's true.
Yep. I'm a fucking moron.
And then I'm like, no. And then had to Google, no, clover honey comes from clover flowers.
Yep.
They control the flowers that the bees.
I don't know why I thought, I don't know. There was for some reason in my head, I thought there was like a synthetic honey that's made in a factory.
Well, they do make synthetic honey, and that's typically like in like a vegan recipe that we would follow. We would buy that, and it's like sugar. It's sugary syrup, essentially, is what it is. Like
for whatever reason, just because it said the flower specifically, in my head, I was like, that's like a manufactured honey. That's
as opposed to wildflower honey,
as opposed to like the bee made honey, and so. I was just ignorant to the process. And then, so I snapped at you for that. I'm a monster. All right, go on.
I think that was it. It was just funny. Okay. Gee, you got me wildflower honey, motherfucker. I got you honey.
You got me honey.
What I was told.
And I'm super thankful. And like I said, like at the beginning of the episode, you're like super thankful for you guys.
Blah, blah, blah. I love you, you stupid bastard. All right. Fast forward.
Yep. So then Thursday, Friday got super, super hard. Like even walking was just like hard. I wasn't supposed to be hitting my steps, but I was still trying to hit my steps for the day, which is 8,000. It's not a lot.
Just nothing, yeah.
Even then I was just like, I text coach and I was like, do I have to hit my steps today? And he's like, no, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, well, I wish I would have known about that because I've been trying. And he's like, no, just relax. You got to lower your cortisol and just like do everything you can to rest. Do everything you can to rest, relax. Like the work is done now. We just need to get to the show. And then I was like, I wish I would have had that advice a little bit earlier, but thank you. But I should have asked earlier too.
Drove down Friday. That was so stress-free.
My God, Route 35 in Texas is where people go to die. Do not ever drive on 35. There's so many memes about it in Texas, and we experienced it, and poor Lex had to drive through that because I was just like depleted and had no energy.
I mean, I didn't want you to have to drive and like be super tired because I remember that state and you're just like brain fog. Like with all of us in the car, the kids and everything, I'm like, I'll drive. It's fine.
Yeah.
It should have taken us like 2.5-ish
2.5
hours.
hours. Right.
Because we're like in the Dallas area. It was like just north of Austin.
Right.
We stopped once to pee. And the drive took over 4 hours.
Yep. It was
through some like bodunk middle of nowhere town where all of traffic got diverted there.
Yeah, they had a traffic circle. Oh no, it was a roundabout with fucking like 8 lanes feeding into it. And literally each lane was stacked with cars. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And what a huge clusterfuck of traffic. And we literally sat like Google's like, you want to save 13 minutes? Gotcha, motherfucker. I'm going to add a half hour, bitch. And
oh my God, it added so much time.
Oh my God. It was fucking ridiculous. And like, could not, it was stressing me out because I had to like, it was getting close to the point to where like I had to eat again.
Yeah.
I had to go get my first coat of tan. We had to go to athlete check-in. Like it was getting like down to the nitty-gritty. And I was just like,
plus you weren't driving, so you weren't in control. I'm driving, and when I drive, I yell at everybody on the road. Not like in a road ragey way, but I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And that stresses you out when I talk to cars on the road.
Yeah. It feels like a panic-induced screaming. But yeah, so that was Friday, right? So we're like fucking, I went from like low stress to like, what the fuck's going on? Everybody was just stressed out in the car, which was kind of funny. And then we finally get to the show, or finally get to the hotel, get checked in, eat. I had to send check-in pictures to coach, because you have to weigh in and send check-in pictures all throughout, just to kind of maintain like visuals and say, okay, am I getting flat? Do we need to carb up? And then finally started getting more carbs on Friday. And Friday was like a happy accident. I actually screwed up my macros, ate all the rice that I was supposed to eat in 2 meals. I was like, this seems like a lot of rice.
It did look like a lot of rice.
I was like, whatever, though. I'm hungry. I don't care. And then I looked at it again. And I was like, oh my God. I divided the macros in half by accident, and I should have doubled it. So that it would have accounted everything properly. And then I talked to coach, and he was like, all right, let's weigh in. And luckily, like my body just like absorbed it, and like my weight didn't fluctuate at all. And I actually got more food. And
he ended up giving you like an extra like 70 or like 140 grams of rice, right? Because you had
180.
There more.
Yeah. So like even more. But
that's crazy.
But that was like so good for like data points, understanding like how each individual person goes through prep and like seeing how they respond is like the data that we got from that was like so good. Cause like I could have gone into the show crazy flat, and like we would have had to like been carbing up like crazy backstage.
But you still even were.
Yeah, which I was still on top of that. So like we learned that like my metabolism was like raging so much that it was like we really had to push food a lot harder on that Friday and then Saturday going into the show. So that was like a really good data point, and we learned a lot on that, which was awesome.
Lovely.
And then so got my first coat of tan. Could not. So we got back to the hotel room. Coach ended up stopping by and just checking in with me, which was really cool. And then he actually brought like a shot of vodka, which is like a technique that our method that a lot of bodybuilders will implement to help dry you out a little bit more, so you have like a nice dry hard look on show day. And it does work. And a shot doesn't do too much, but
you were already at like so little water. Like you were not even a gallon of water that day, and then done by 6, and then only like sips to help you get your food down.
Yeah, literally just baby sips just to get food down. And then coach came by, him and his wife, and they like came and checked in with me, and like we went up to the room, and he was like, all right, let's look at you. And he was just like pumping me up. That felt amazing. Like having him there was like so cool. To finally, and that was my first time meeting him in person too, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And so he stopped by, and he just like, he was just cannot be more thankful for him. He is like just so awesome, and just gave me we worked on a couple poses, and then ended up going to bed or trying to go to bed. I was still up like every couple hours peeing. It was just nerves, couldn't sleep really well. It was a really, really rough night's sleep wise.
I was so excited for you. I had a hard time sleeping too. Like I was so excited. I'm like, I'm not competing. Go the fuck to sleep. But I was so excited for you. I was having a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
But you're talking about getting up and peeing a lot too. Just kind of going back in the week to like peak week in your protocol and stuff. You stopped all of your like PEDs partway through the week, right? Because they caused inflammation. So no injectables. And then you even stopped, what was it? GH? I don't remember when, but you said like that holds water. So you were just like pissing that out even more too, right?
Yep. Yeah. All the water was literally like getting all the water out. Yeah. And then, so, sorry, the athlete meeting, you do your height, you get heighted in. So I was heighted in right at 5'10", shrunk a little bit.
5'10". Yeah. Not 5'10" and 3/4.
Nope. Shrunk a little bit. And
shrunk. You always make fun of me for shrinking.
You shrunk like 2 inches.
You shrunk almost a whole inch. Fuck you.
Almost. No. So, So came in at 5'10", and then 5'10" even, and then weighed in at 194, 195, something like that. Mm-hmm. No, I think it was 194.
And what's the weight cap for you?
Weight cap is 207. So lots of room for growth, which is great. But yeah, so that was weigh in, and then went to bed. It was miserable night's sleep, and then 6:30, woke up at 5:30, 8. Did check-in photos, sent coach check-in photos, and then got my second coat of tan. And then the tanning was pretty funny. The ladies are like, "You're really pale," and I am. I'm super pale, and they're like, "You need to buy 3 coats next time." They ended up doing like 4 coats on me. They're like, you are so pale.
I feel like the extras, and maybe this is just me, I don't know, but you're paying like $120 plus, sometimes like between like $100 and $150 for the tanning services. And I don't know, I'm just as translucent as you are. Like we're both Irish skin, super, super pale. I've had different tanning where it's like this coat and then a top coat, but I've always had them they just keep spraying me down until I'm good. I've never had anyone tell me you need to buy more tan. So I kind of feel, I get it.
Yep.
They want to make their money, but also like it's a lot of fucking money.
It's a ton of money.
Just take care. Just make sure I don't look like shit when I go on stage. Like, who cares? Just fucking do it.
Yeah. But that was super funny. They were like, "You're extremely pale. You need more." And I was like, "I didn't. This is my first time. I don't know." And they're just like, "We got you." And they were super sweet. They were just like, "Don't worry." They were like, "Get in there again." And then everything, tanning wise, came out really good. I was like, I ended up turning out extremely dark, which was great. And yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then the show started at 8:30, which was really good. So bodybuilder started there, and then I was in the back. Coach came back, which was great. So we were warming up, and then we were talking through like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Rice cakes every 45 minutes. Just to basically carb up at the right time.
Yeah.
I got to eat half a muffin, which was just like glorious because it was like I've been starving.
Glorious muffin.
Yeah, it was the best muffin. And then go ahead.
Waiting for that to start was really nerve-wracking.
Oh, like, I was going nuts
in my chair, in my seat. So I'm in like the audience. I didn't pay all the extra for the VIP seating, but we were like right in front, right dead center. So we had really, really great view. I feel like the VIP seating that's in front, we would have had a more obstructed view because we would have had like closer people in front of us.
Yep.
So I was really happy with where we were seating. The 2 kids next to me, and I'm like jittering my legs. I'm like, I was so nervous for you. I'm like, I'm not getting on stages. I'm like, is this what you guys feel like? So it was really cool to flip it and be that person on the other side and watch you. was so really cool. Part of me wishes I was like backstage with you, but then there's not enough room back there or anything like that. And then I was with the kids, and then just like seeing it all happen, it was really awesome. But I was like jittery in my seat for you. And then here I am texting you my stream of thoughts and consciousness as like people are coming up on stage and they're starting late or whatever. And I'm just texting you along the way.
Yep.
But you coach backstage with you, which is nice.
So which is great. And now I feel like going into my next show, I'm going to be like, I totally know what to do. I know what to do now. I know the process. I understand what to do. Like I'm ready to go.
Okay. So bodybuilding's on. So they did bodybuilding. So this show was really cool. They separated out the men's show, women's show, men's finals, women's finals. A lot of them do different structures, I guess, depending on the promoter. Favorite way is just straight through format, especially for like a regional show where like finals are not going to impact placing. Like, you know who won.
Yep.
Just why do we have to do this again? Just do it all in the morning. So a lot of the natural shows are run that way. Some of the NPC promoters run their shows that way, but at least what was nice is it was all of the men together. So you had bodybuilding, classic physique, and then physique, and then you're done. So we didn't have to sit through, just all of like the women's rounds or anything like that. So watching it all and sitting, you weren't getting like fatigued watching like the same version of like that guy keep coming up on stage forever and ever and ever and ever. So it was a good format for that.
Yeah, and it wasn't crazy huge show. Like there wasn't a ton of guys, so it worked out really well. It flowed really well. But yeah, so bodybuilders went on, and then finally we got to classic physique, and that was one of my events. And started out with true novice, and then I guess, should we talk about the placings, I guess, along the way?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, okay. So started out true novice. I got second.
Well, hold on. You did 4.
Yeah, so
classes.
Four classes. I did true novice, masters, and open. Okay. So true novice, I got second place. Novice, I got second place. Masters, I got first place. And then open, I got fourth, which was awesome.
That open class was crazy.
The open class was stacked, and it had some really good competition. I was hoping I would have placed a little bit better, but got the data that I needed to make some informed decisions. So it was great first experience, great showing. I felt I put my best out there, and the open class is important because it's the most important, because that's what the top 2 in your open class qualifies you for nationals, so you can compete at a national level. Right. So that the goal, first goal was go out there, have fun. Second goal was, try to be competitive in the open class and qualify for nationals. Fell short of that, but it was okay. I felt really good about what I brought to stage. I'm proud of how I did. I think the prep went extremely well. My conditioning was great. I think I just need a little bit more size, and me and coach kind of talked about it. Like after I got off stage for the classic physique, coach came back and he was like, "All right, let's talk. Let's catch up." Because I think we were both hoping that I would have placed a little bit better, but it is what it is. Judges made their decisions, and I'm gonna email them for feedback so I can get that get that critique. Get that feedback, and then update my training to, fix whatever areas need to be brought up.
Yeah. What was really interesting, I think what's so interesting with this sport is you don't know who's going to show up that day, right? Yeah. Because just in conversations, just in looking at other shows and making those comparisons, you could have done a different show and it would have been a completely different outcome. Because that's why bodybuilding, you just say you have to beat you, because you don't know who's going to show up on that stage. You have no idea who's going to place into that show. It could have been somebody who's been lifting heavy for 15 years, and then they decide to do it and they blow everyone out of the water because they've been doing that. What was really interesting with your open class is you had said even like the expeditors backstage were like, holy shit, this is a really competitive class.
Yeah, the expediter was like, yo, this is the best, this is the most stacked classic physique stack of guys I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So like to hear that from the expediter, that was just like, okay, we got some really good competition.
Which is, I mean, you don't want to
great.
show up and just beat people just for beating people. Like, I think there's a couple people go into bodybuilding or decide to do a show for a number of different reasons, right? You could want to get up on stage in a bodybuilding show as like a bucket list item. Like, I would like to do that one of these days. Yep. Cool. And there were people at your show that did that. And that's good for you. That's awesome. And then there's people that, you know, they just want to go and have fun. Yeah. You know, they do the work. They enjoy the process, but they're there for the experience. They enjoy that experience. If they win, awesome. If not, that's cool too. And I've met a lot of those people, and those people are awesome to be around because they just love the process and the experience. And then I think you have this other class of people, and you and I are both there, of like, I'm showing up to win. My goal is to win.
I want to win.
But I want to beat good people.
Yeah.
I don't want to just show up and win by default.
Right.
I want competition, and I want to kick their ass.
Yeah.
That's the difference, right? And so I think what was so great about your show is you had a lot of people that were all showing up to win.
Yes. Yeah.
And you said, and you'll talk about this more, like you learned a lot, but you started to get the nuances of when you had like those 5 guys in your open class B. There was one clear winner. And then I think everyone else, it was like pros and cons. Like everyone had something better than someone else, but everyone had a weak point. Right. So I think the placings for that could have gone any which way.
Yep.
Because everyone sort of like had more this guy had more this, you know, it's all of these like little nitpicky things.
I'm curious. I don't know if they'll share them, but I want to see my scorecard if I can. So I'm going to try and like find that too. I don't know if that'll be posted or available.
You should ask for that when you ask for feedback.
Yeah, I'm going to. And
the NPC feedback fucking sucks.
Yeah.
They're awful, by the way, for like a regional show, but hopefully the promoters were really good and they understand that, and maybe you'll get good feedback.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my stage shots, and then as soon as I do, I got to send that in to the judges with an email saying, hey, please give me feedback. Looking to improve. And hopefully I'll get some good critique there. After talking to Coach, though, I think we kind of understand for classic physique what we need to add. Because I have a little bit blockier waist, and that's one thing I noticed about the other guys is their waists were definitely smaller. And so the way you make your waist look smaller is you make your back wider, bigger. You make your legs wider, bigger, right? Yeah. And then you have that illusion of a smaller waist because you have that kind of that X frame look. And so I think that's definitely, and me and Coach talked about it, and you know that's definitely what we're going to go do this off season for sure.
Yeah.
So we already got some strategies in place to help go attack that, but I'm still going to get the feedback because maybe there's something else glaring that I missed. And I can't wait to get that feedback. I'm like salivating for it. I'm like, tell me what I need to go improve. Like I'm ready to go back into the gym.
Yeah. I think what's really interesting is you like you said, you have a blockier waist. There was one guy on stage, and I keep remembering him because he had the most narrow hips, I think, of anyone that I've ever seen in my life. At least on stage, it's what it looked like. But to me, it almost looked like, if you've ever seen those, to me, I tend to see it more in like bikini competitors, that really long, lean torso.
Yeah.
He had this like really tiny, long, lean torso. And he didn't even, like, you couldn't even see his rib cage at all. Even when he was like doing like abs and thighs, or like, you know, like front relax, where you kind of see your rib cage a little bit as you pull up, you couldn't see that at all on him. And he didn't have necessarily more muscle than anyone else on that stage, but it was because he was so narrow. It was like the way that muscle like appeared on his body made him look so much more of like an X-ray. And that guy didn't even have big legs, but he had such a narrow waist that
it made it look like it. And that guy, I talked to that guy in line too, because like I was just like, it was like he was like, dude, he gave me some really nice compliments too. He's like your legs and shoulders look great. He's like, your clavicles are huge. He's like, you're gonna be, a terror going forward. And I was like, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I was like, dude, your waist is like so small. I was like, your proportions look great, blah, blah, blah. It was a very friendly environment. Like, And then we were all like complimenting the guy that won, because there was like, because he looked great.
And he won the overall too.
He won the overall. Yeah. He won the classic physique overall, which is like winning the show.
He won the show for classic physique. Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, he looked phenomenal. And he was just like, yeah, I won last week too. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I think he just said, he had already paid for the show.
He already paid for it. Why not?
Yeah. But I was like, you just come here to dominate regional shows? Get out of here. But no, I think he had already paid, and he was like, you don't get your money back. So
you don't get your money back.
It doesn't matter. Like, go compete. And he won, rightfully so. He looks great, and I think he's going to do extremely well in nationals. He definitely had a just really, really good balance. Really good. I did not mind losing to that guy, because I was like, he looks good.
Yep.
The other guys, that's where I want my feedback, because I was just like, oh, I thought my back was a little bit better. I thought my legs were a little bit better than that guy. And like you said,
that's where it's like all like checking boxes, like the guy with the super tiny waist, and he appeared so much bigger. He didn't have necessarily larger legs.
Yeah.
But it's like pros here, cons here.
Yep.
How do you stack everybody up? That's what makes bodybuilding such a subjective sport.
Yes. I mean, and that's kind of the crux of it, right? It's like you're at the end of the day, you're still being, they're looking for stuff, but you're also being compared to who else is on stage.
Yep.
And it's hard for the judges not to look at what's on stage presented. So they weigh things, and then things are weighted differently: symmetry, balance, back, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that was a classic physique recap. And then I competed in 2 more categories, which was novice men's physique.
Men's physique novice. So board shorts.
Men's physique novice, and the open. And the men's physique novice, I got hold on.
Second?
It's second place. Men's classic. Yeah, open men's.
Look it up. There's so many.
Yeah.
There were so many of them. I was like texting like a family chat of my parents, your parents, some like close friends, and just like everyone's like, what's going on? How are things going? And I had to put a disclaimer in like the beginning of our family chat, like, here are rules, people.
Yeah.
Because some people are going to start asking some silly ass questions.
Yeah.
And this is a group chat. And don't ask questions.
Yeah. No. And they don't understand the sport. They're like, what is that? Oh, good. They don't understand like all the classes and everything. So the novice class. Yes, I got second. Felt really good about that. And then in the open, and again, the open is the most important, because that's where you qualify for nationals, and you may compete in the overall too for the show. I ended up getting second there too, which means I qualified for nationals for men's physique, which is so cool, because I wasn't even going into.
You didn't even care about men's physique.
I didn't. I was just doing it to just get more stage time and just like practice the posing. And so to qualify, which is so funny.
So good in men's physique. Which it's funny. I think I had the same bias that you've had, because you're just like, I don't care about this one, because you feel so passionately about classic.
I love the posing so much in classic. Yeah.
Well, it's just the overall look, right? It's that X frame. So in men's physique, they wear board shorts. Their legs aren't judged. So, there's sort of like sometimes jokes around like guys that don't work their legs. It's like, you look like a men's physique competitor, because they're not judged on legs. So sometimes you've got these guys that are really, really top heavy, and they just don't do a lot of legs.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You have
a lot of legs,
gorgeous, big old thick thighs, and they're juicy and they're feathered and they're beautiful. So you're kind of like, no, you don't want to cover those babies.
Yeah.
So I kind of went into that with the same bias, but oh my gosh, you looked so good up there in men's physique. You have, I don't know the right term for it. So if somebody knows this, please tell me. You have the long chest. You don't have like short pec muscles. When you stand there and you're like, you've got like, you're relaxed and you've got like your spread and your arms just kind of hanging and one's on your hip. Your tits are so big and they take up so much of like your top half of your body. And I think for that look, for physique, men's physique, it is so, that's what I feel like that's what they want. They want this like big long chest. So I don't know. I just like your
babies. So I did really good. So I qualified for nationals for men's physique.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to, within a year's time, compete in a national event, I could, which is super cool. So I did kind of accomplish my goal of qualifying for nationals. It wasn't in the category that I necessarily wanted, but
that's
still okay. And for a first show, like after like just going through everything, like the experience was amazing. I felt like so proud of like the work that I'd put in, everything I brought to stage, and like got such good data, such good information on how to like improve on where I'm at right now. And so backstage, ended up talking to coach after the prejudging, and we kind of talked about maybe doing another show, maybe not, in 2 weeks to try and qualify for nationals for classic physique. But considering the competition that I saw for classic physique and how everything turned out, we kind of both looked at each other, and then I was like, this is what I'm leaning towards. And I actually wanted to, and I was leaning towards saying, okay, let's call this my last show for the season.
Yeah.
Because doing another show is just rolling the dice in terms of like, maybe I get lucky and nobody shows up. But
you know where you need to improve.
But I already got the data that I need, and I want to go into my next show super confident in terms of bringing a better package to stage. And like, so I got the data that I needed. It didn't make sense to spend a bunch more money, hotel, like the whole nine again, spend another $1,000+ to go compete again, and maybe still not qualify.
Maybe because like you said, you don't know who's going to show up to that show. So now you know, okay, I need to grow. I need to improve on these areas. We learned a lot about even how do you wear your suit? Where do you like all like those like little things that like you kind of don't pick up on until you see a whole bunch of people on stage, just different cuts of suits, right? How they are wearing different things. So just like, it's just all a learning experience. But why, if you already know, I want to do this to get better, you're not going to step on stage in 2 weeks. You're not going to make those improvements in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
You need a proper off season.
I need a proper off season. And if I got second and I qualified, I didn't win first, like confidence going into a national show would be pretty low.
Right.
And so it'd be just like an exercise, and I don't think it wouldn't be worth the money and everything else, given all the data that I already received. So it was like, I got enough information. It made more financial sense and strategic sense just to go into off season and rebound super hard and go update what I think needs to be fixed.
You're hungry. Why keep cortisol levels high? Why keep your body in that stress state? You already know what you need to know.
Yep.
You're good.
Exactly. So
that's great.
Yeah. So it was awesome. So we made the decision. We're going to go into off season. We're going to rebound, then we're going to go health phase, and then go into a really good off season phase before we make. I think we'll probably make a national run, most likely next year. We'll and again, we'll see how we do at the regional show. But
goals. I think that's really great.
Yeah, the goal is to basically improve with all the information we got. Yeah.
And you will. So, you're going to do that good. So I think next week will be a really good conversation to talk through reversing
Yes.
Because I want to talk so much about, because I was talking to your coach while we were like waiting for you and he was in the audience and stuff, talking about how you're going to reverse and rebound. And I'm like, mind blown, because it's so different than what I know and what I know for female competitors. And I don't know if it's the PEDs. I don't know if it's just because you're a guy or how that is. So we could probably talk about that for like a good chunk of time. So let's talk about that next week and save that. Because that'll be a really interesting comparison and just conversation. And then I don't know if you even have your full plan yet.
But no, I just got my updated macros today, so I still got to look at them.
What are your macros for this week?
So I'm going from 1900 to 3000. So it's a pretty big. It's a huge jump. It's a huge jump.
Okay, I hate you. You're dumb. You're so stupid, and that's not fair.
So we're gonna rebound.
Anyway, we'll talk about that next week. I did want to talk to you post show. So post show, everyone's around. You've got like a lot of really great feedback from different people. Yeah. I have to say, I want to say a couple of moments in just watching all of it and seeing you and all of that stuff. A couple of things happened that I absolutely loved. So number one, all I was waiting for you, and then like kind of poking my head and seeing you and giving you a big greasy hug and kiss was so awesome. And I was just so happy to see you.
What a great moment.
And just wanted to hug you and love you. But the other thing I wanted to say is you were getting lined up in the front of the backdrop to take like your picture, and you had 6 trophies. So this promoter gives trophies and rings. They don't give medals. And we had our 2 kids, and each kid was holding a trophy, 2 trophies, because they were so excited. Dad got all these trophies, and Dad, can we help you hold your trophies and all of that? So you were going to, you were putting trophies down in front of you to stand and get ready for your picture. And then the kids were coming up behind you and placing your trophies down like at your feet. And I overheard one of the coaches that was there, not your coach, but like somebody else, big dude. I overheard him say to somebody else, isn't that the dream? Or like something to that effect. Like
it was a super special moment. Like seeing you guys immediately after was just like, it was just everything. At the end of the day, you're just like exhausted, tired, want to get the hell out of there. And then like to come around the corner from the stage and then to see you, give you a big hug and kiss, and then the kids just hugging me and loving me. It was the best feeling.
Yeah.
It was the best. And yeah, no, it truly was a dream, right? Because it's funny because we're a little bit older. So like we're on the other side of the spectrum where like the younger guys have to take breaks to have kids and stuff. It's like there's you know,
you have to take break. And I never knew this, but you have to take breaks in gear to be as a man to be able to have
it affects
kids.
Fertility. Yeah.
Because and then I mean, especially for women, obviously, if you're taking all of that stuff, that's going to impact your fertility or just general health. Like you don't want to be taking steroids if you're cooking a baby.
No.
So like all of that, we're totally on the other side of it, where I know like at least your coach, like he's just getting married. So he's a lot younger. A couple of those other guys, a lot of those guys are all on the younger side. It's like, I feel like we're so old, but we're not that, like 38 years old. Like we're not that old.
A lot of the younger guys think I'm younger than I am, which is great. So
I'll let them think you're younger than you are. Our kids have said that. Our kids have said, you're a lot younger than our friends' parents. I'm like, are we? I feel like we're the same age. I feel like we're just in shape.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think we're necessarily younger, but who knows? But that was really, I overhearing that like made it really warm.
Sweet
to me.
Yeah.
Like
beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful moment. I loved it.
Your kids are screaming for you the entire time. Like, do they hate kind of sitting around and waiting? I mean, doesn't anybody, but like they weren't complaining. They were there for it. They're like, we'll sit in the car for 6 hours between prejudging and finals because you're too cheap to get a hotel room for another day. That's fine. We'll figure it out. Like they're along for the ride and they're 100% supportive. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then my coach has a roster of athletes, and there was two teammates there that showed up and supported me, which was awesome. I mean, they paid to get in. Steve and John, those guys are freaking awesome. Like, just talking to them for like 15 minutes, I was like, oh man, I could be really good friends with these guys. Like, and we've been like chatting over Instagram, but it's like, it would be cool to get a hang. And then coach actually brought up, he was like, he was talking about running like a 2 or 3 day camp of like training.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so great. And so they all go to the same gym, which is like, I'm jealous because they get to go all work out with coach. I mean, not work out with him, but like he's there.
Adjacent. Yeah.
You know, because they still got to go everyone's doing their own program. But he was talking about doing like a camp where like getting all of us in the gym and like recording and doing like some footage and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So that's so cool. So it was so cool seeing those guys, and they were giving me support. And if they're doing a show, semi-local, I'm going to go support them too, because
of course
that was so huge having those guys there.
They're not that far away. And I mean,
no, I mean, it's like,
really cool.
Good.
I was just gonna say what's really cool in Texas is, I mean, there's so many Texas is such a big bodybuilding sport, and even Braden had said a couple times throughout the day, like if you win a show in Texas, you're probably going to win nationals, because Texas is such a huge bodybuilding state. I mean, around Dallas alone, like you could do a regional show here. You could do multiple shows regionally here throughout the year and never have to travel more than 20 minutes. There's so many in Dallas. There's so many in Austin, which is just like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Houston.
I mean, couple of months, there've been like
so many.
Richardson. Yeah. Yep.
All over. So they'll do one local, and we'll definitely drive out to support.
Yeah. So now the goals, compete some point mid to late next year.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try and like sync up.
Figure out our schedule.
Yeah, we gotta. We try not to have any.
I've got my schedule on the wall over here.
You got your pro debut, and with the goals and aspirations of going to the Yorton Cup, which is the Super Bowl of the natural federations, and so it is. There will be no conflicts. We're gonna make sure we figure it out, and because I got to be that support person for you. Like I think we are a hell of a team, and gosh, I can't wait to see you on your pro debut. Like you're gonna be magnificent.
Well, I want us to compete together. That would be really
that would be so cool. That would be so cool.
Oh my god,
we were talking about
we were going to be so shredded together. Oh my god, we would be so hot. Yeah, but it would be wasted because we would both be too tired to have sex or do anything.
You're like, you look amazing.
You look so hot, but
I'm
gonna lay here next to you.
Yeah, just don't breathe on me. I love you. We're both starving and drained,
exhausted.
Yeah.
Couple people. So I know you got this a lot. People kept asking you about your diet, like many times. Like it was almost like, guys, it's not that serious, but apparently it is.
Yeah, they were like, I can't believe you like the package you brought to stage being a vegan. And like, on a plant-based diet, everybody's mind was blown, but it's just like, you can totally figure it out. It's food, it's calories, it's carbs, it's protein, it's fat. You can figure it out. It's not that hard. And so it's just, and I kept telling everybody, I was like, oh, we make like our own like fake meat, like a chicken meatball type thing.
Seitan. It's seitan.
Yeah, it's seitan. Which is wheat gluten for people that don't know what seitan is, and with pea protein, and you get your complete amino acid chain for proteins. So it's like nothing's missing. You get everything you need, and it's insanely dense. I end up getting like I could eat 100 less grams for the same equivalency of protein of chicken, of like real chicken, and so it's like actually extremely efficient. And it makes eating a lot easier. So it's super achievable. And here's, 2 data points, you and me, that like we're both bodybuilders and we're able to hit macronutrient goals and easily.
The biggest thing talking to somebody a couple weeks ago. Somebody asked me to do like an interview because he'd like to interview bodybuilding women, and he goes, "Oh, you're plant-based?" Yeah, because you're plant-based. And I was just like, yeah. And he was like, I tried plant-based food, blah. Which was like, it was such a weird comment. And I'm like, dude, you don't ever have like a vegetable, a fruit? Like, that's not all that it is, but like to say vegan food, blah, like that was so bad. That was so weird to me, but it made me think of it. And I said to him, I'm like, have you ever had bad chicken?
Dry, nasty chicken? Yeah.
Like, have you ever had bad chicken? Yeah. Have you ever had shitty eggs? Like, I'm sure you have. I feel like that's a universal experience. If you grow up eating those foods, you have to learn how to cook.
Right.
It's not just ingrained in you that you know how to cook chicken breast. Whether you're a bodybuilder or not a bodybuilder, if you're somebody you eat chicken, you don't just know how to make good chicken. You have to learn how to cook it. You learn how to season it. You learn, I don't know, all of the different cooking techniques, right? And a lot of times you just grow up learning how to do that because your family is cooking, and that's how you learn. That's how I learned how to cook. Like my dad, my mom always cooked, so I just kind of pick things up. It's the same thing being vegan. Like you're using a different set of ingredients. So have you had bad chicken? Yeah. Well, then maybe you've had a bad vegan meal. Maybe that person just didn't know how to cook it really good. Right. Or maybe you didn't like it. I mean, how often have you had something that you like and someone else has something that they don't like? So you just have to learn how to cook it. And that's the biggest thing, I think, when people ask about how do you have to reteach yourself, relearn how to cook using different things. But it's really not that, I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. We went that way, I'll say, for health reasons. I did like an allergy panel years ago, and it's like, you're allergic to milk, you're allergic to chicken and pork and eggs and all of this shit. And I was like, fuck. And that was really hard because it was like, at that moment in time, I was drinking like 2 gallons of milk a week. That's all you knew.
Yeah.
Culturally, we didn't grow up at standard American diet, didn't know any different.
Yep.
And they're like, you're allergic to all these things. So I said, well, fuck, what does that leave me with? Like beef? So I just decided at that point, like, I'm just going to try doing like a vegan plant-based diet and just go that route. And I did that, and you didn't do it at the time. The kids didn't do it. For me, it was just kind of a result of like allergy testing. And then I think I was about like a year in, and you were like, you feel really good. I'm going to try this. And then you made the switch, and then we just switched the kids. The kids, I mean, we've been eating this way for like 8 or 9 years. Kids don't know any different now.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we came for the health benefits. And, you know, we've learned a lot of things along the way. There's some like ethical things along the way that we've like learned about, but we're not preachy people. Just like I don't like preachy people in any other realm. It's like, you do your thing. I'm not going to bother you. It's none of my business. I'm not going to push my shit on you. You don't push your shit on me. We're good. But if you want to learn about it, happy to talk about it.
Yeah. Super easy to do.
It is easy.
Just like you said, just got to learn how to cook. Just got to figure it out.
Yep. All right, sir.
Yeah.
So I think we'll call it there. Next week, we can kind of get back into sort of our standard formatting. We'll talk about our check-ins, wins, and all that other kind of stuff. I think you had some big old wins for this week. But I really want to get into like reverse mechanics and what your plan is, what's going to change.
Yeah.
And you'll probably have more information next week since like you literally competed yesterday. So.
Right. Thanks for joining us.